Molt bon dia a totes i a tots. Good morning to everyone. It's a real pleasure to have the opportunity to share with you this moment, this open ceremony. Welcome to the Aula Magna of the University of Barcelona. This is a very emblematic place for us where we celebrate our most important academic events. Obviously, thank you to contribute to define this event as a very solemn act and important act. So the most important thing is to open this symposium. It's a pleasure to give the floor to the Dr. Martí Parellada. Martí.
Good morning. First of all, I would like to thank the Rector to introduce me, and also Professor Costa and Professor García-Quevedo, who are sharing this opening address with me. This is the 11th time that I have been given the honor of introducing the International Academic Symposium. In this case, dedicated to green investment for the energy transition. 11 years is a long time. And this number of years, together with the number and quality of the speakers and those who attend this workshop, is probably the best indicator that everything has been done relatively well. However, 11 years is also a drawback when it comes to trying to be a bit original in what I say. Obviously, every year we have reiterated our gratitude to the Director of the Chair of Energy and Sustainability, Professor María Teresa Costa, for her work. Likewise, it goes without saying that I need to thank FUNSEAM and the IBE Foundation, the foundation of the Barcelona Institute of Economics, that are the institutions that I represented here today, and which I have represented over these 11 years. Throughout this period, Professor Costa and myself have been regular participants in this opening ceremony. For this reason, let me thank the Rector of the University of Barcelona, who, due to his position, has accompanied us in this ceremony for the last 3 years, for taking part once again. I consider that this commitment goes beyond just participating in this event. Undoubtedly, there is an inevitable component of protocol, but in fact, his commitment clearly goes beyond that, as he, together with his governing team, in the same way as previous governing teams, support the provision of posts for professors with a profile of energy economics. That this is undoubtedly the best guarantee for continuing the study of this discipline in the University of Barcelona. Nor can I fail to mention that University of Barcelona forms part of the Fundación de Barcelona Institute of Economics Board of Trustees. And it is the institution, the BAE Foundation, that academically hosts the activities of the chair. I believe that this form of governance, although it may seem relatively complex at first sight, has been and continues to be the approach that has given the best results both to the chair in the first instance, as well as to Barcelona Institute of Economics and by extension, logically, to the Faculty of Economics at the University of Barcelona. Thank you, Rector. Let me also highlight the presence at this ceremony of José García-Quevedo, a colleague and friend for many years, a professor and researcher, as you know, on issues related to the economy of energy, and in particular the role of the innovation in the sector. According to the program, he is here in his capacity as director of the Department of Economics at the UB, but which is more than enough reason to justify his presence. But I want to say that is not the only reason. Professor García-Quevedo is taking on an increasingly significant role in the chair, collaborating closely with Professor Costa and creating the conditions that guarantee the continuity of this magnificent project in the best possible way. Thank you, Professor García-Quevedo. To finish, let me thank all of you for your presence. Without you, this workshop logically would not make any sense. In particular, the authors of the 12 papers to be presented, and logically the chairs of the 3 sessions organized and the 2 keynote speakers, Professor Juan Pablo Moreno and Professor Martí. A few closing words to highlight the importance of the topic selected for this workshop: green investment for the energy transition. The goal of zero emissions in the year 2050 requires a very strong political commitment, which must be expressed with resources and regulation, which addresses the different degree of maturity of the technologies and creating the incentives for the private sector to contribute to this process. The project for the construction of the Barcelona-Marsella hydrogen pipeline and its extension to Northern Europe and Portugal give us an idea of the magnitude of the challenge. Although we are beginning to see signs of construction deadlines, 2030, for the moment we don't have hydrogen to go through the pipeline, and nor are there customers who use it. It's easy to understand that without the decisive presence of public administration, it is difficult for such projects to prosper, in the same way that they can hardly progress without the effective commitment of the private initiative. Combining resources, regulation, market, and competition is probably the challenge for the coming years. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks, Professor Martí Parellada. And now is the moment to give the floor to Professor María Teresa Costa. It's our chair. Please.
Thank you, Rector. Good morning, Honorable Rector of the University of Barcelona, Professor José García-Quevedo, Director of the Economics Department, and Professor Martí Parellada, President of the IEB and Trustee of FUNSEAM. On behalf of the Chair in Energy Stability, I am very pleased to welcome you to our 11th International Academic Symposium focused on green investments for the energy transition. What began in May 2012 as a part of an agreement between the University of Barcelona and FUNSEAM, the chair in energy stability has blossomed into a well-established foundation with a mission to foster research in sustainable energy and environment at a competitive level. The success of the chair is due to the tireless research work of a select group of professors and researchers. During these years, we have had many international PhD students who now join research teams in universities and enterprises around the world. Currently, we have PhD students from United States, Turkey, and Spain. We have also received more than 80 distinguished visiting professors from the best universities and research centers in the world. The caliber of the projects has been consistently recognized through the competitive projects we have been awarded. As always, the papers that will be presented today were chosen by the scientific committee. Your work is highly appreciated. It is always a challenging task to choose the best of the papers presented. Due to the high quality of the submissions we have received, and a very long number of submissions also. Thanks to the IEB, to the president, the director, and to all the members. It's a privilege to work with such a prestigious institution. My thanks to FUNSEAM, to the president, members of the board of trustees, to the director, and the rest of the members. I would also like to thank those institutions which have put their trust in our knowledge and expertise. And finally, I should like to give a special thanks to the University of Barcelona. I am very proud to be Emeritus Professor and Director of the Chair in the most international renown of our universities. Thank you very much. Thanks to you, Rector, and all of you for joining us today.
Thanks to you, Professor Costa, and now is the moment to give the floor to Professor García, Director of our department.
Thank you, Rector. Good morning, Rector of the University of Barcelona, Professor Martí Parellada, President of the IB, Professor María Teresa Costa, Director of the Chair of Energy Sustainability of the University of Barcelona, friends and colleagues. On behalf of the Department of Economics, welcome to this 11th International Academic Symposium entitled Green Investments for the Energy Transition. I am particularly happy to be in this opening session. As most of you know, and Martí has just mentioned, I am also member of the Chair of Energy Sustainability, and thank you, Martí, for your words. And I have participated in this symposium sometimes as a speaker since its first edition. Then I am very happy to be now as head of the department in this opening session. The Department of Economics has around 200 members, including almost 30 PhD students. Our mission, in accordance with the mission of the University of Barcelona, is to provide a public service for higher education with the highest level of quality through research, teaching, and the effective management of knowledge transfers. We have, as you can imagine, many teaching subjects and lines of research in the department, but let me highlight briefly our activities in the field of environmental and energy economics. Regarding teaching in this field, some of the members, like Professor María Teresa Costa, François Cohen, and Elisenda Jové, participate in the Master in Renewable and Sustainable Energy of the University of Barcelona. Members of the department also participate in the Master in Economics in the subjects related with environmental economics. In relation to research and the transfer of knowledge in environmental and energy economics, the members of the department that work in this line of research also belong to the Chair of Energy Sustainability and to the Economic Institute of Barcelona. Professors Parellada and Costa have explained in detail, or in more detail, the characteristics of the chair and the IB, but let me emphasize that this provides to us a very good framework, a very good institutional framework to develop our activities. In this framework of university and business cooperation, we are able to carry out research projects with funds from public competitive calls and also with support from private institutions. The results of the research projects are published in high-impact journals like the American Economic Journal, Energy Economics, Energy Policy or Research Politics, and among others. And as you can see, we are very active in the dissemination and transfer of knowledge and organizing events such as this one. Well, let me finish by wishing all of you a very fruitful symposium. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Professor Garcia, and finally 2 minutes to finish this open ceremony. So, on behalf of the University of Barcelona, it's an honor to have the possibility to receive you at your home now. It's a real pleasure to have the opportunity to create a space to analyze the situation in terms of sustainability, and also it's very exciting for us to identify that you can generate the possibility to the young people stay with us today. So the future is defined by the young people, sure. So, once again, thanks very much for being here again and to contribute to make this act in a transcendent academic act. Just a few words to start the activities of the symposium. So finally, this is the important thing to initiate the activities of the symposium. But we want to emphasize that the issue addressed by this symposium is of extraordinary importance. Identify how the concept of sustainability should be interpreted in terms of macroeconomic system, as well as from this microeconomic dimension on the impact of the Green Deal definitions in terms of social impact or economic or political impact. I think that is still unsolved. This is not just a declaration of intention, so we think that it's urgent that we face this problem from a more complex and diverse society. And the way to face this problem is no other than the science and rigor. So as a consequence, I think that this symposium is a huge challenge to face this challenge. I am sure that the symposium will be key to answer this question, and I am sure that with your success in your works, in your debate and activities. And finally, if the schedule allows you time, please enjoy the town, enjoy the city, and please enjoy the University of Barcelona, your home. Thank you very much.